Finally! Welcome everyone to the Voice of Terminus show, Tavern Talk, episode 24. As you all know, it's the final Tuesday of the month, so we have our Tavern Talk show. And I'm joined today by Lex. Say hello, Lex.
Hello, people.
What have we got for you today? So, obviously, our usual VR and Pantheon news. Then we're going to talk a bit about the April newsletter, especially the crafting and harvesting portion. Then we're going to talk about the upcoming VR streams and the videos to go with that. Then we'll be showing you some of the latest screenshots they put out there that you've all most probably already seen. And then we'll be covering other news, what we're going to be doing on Thursday, and we're going to be talking about some of the other sites out there and what they are doing to help promote the game, etc. So, Lex, you want to go and kick it off with the Pantheon and VR news?
Sure. Well, we got a couple of tweets here for you. April 24th, we got, what are your thoughts on harvesting? Do you like collecting your own resources? Or do you prefer to pay others to do it for you? Now, personally, it all depends on the crafting system. If it's not that great of a crafting system like most games out there, I tend to do it myself when I do it. How about you?
Well, actually, I normally use the time when people aren't on to go harvesting. And I tend to be one of those people that drags everybody back in a group because I'm all over the place gathering stuff while we're moving forward. So I collect as we go and spend most of my time out of group doing harvesting, crafting stuff. So I do it for myself. I'm too stingy when it comes to harvesting. I won't pay anybody else to do it.
Yeah,
And
sadly.
plus, you know, I've got my kid as well. So
True.
when I'm at work, I'll send my kid out to go harvesting for me, obviously as well. So, and I'll use the wife to go gather resources for me. She can keep half of what she's got and give me the rest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if this was a poll, you'd see the top option as my kids do it for me. And I apologize if I cough in everybody's ears. I'm still getting over a pretty bad cold here. All right, next one is on April 20th. How do you prefer to purchase your games? Digitally or on physical media? Now, they also show you a mock-up of a fan-made box.
Yep, and I'll bring that up now.
Yeah, which I think they did a fantastic job. If I was going to look for Pantheon in the stores, that's what I would be looking for. Personally, I'm digital. I'm all about digital.
Well, for me, it always depends on what the physical media has to offer. If it's something really special, like a collector's special edition box with all kinds of goodies on it, and I can afford it at that point in time, I'll go and get the physical media. But mostly it's all digital nowadays.
Yeah. Another one on April 20th was Sierra. Sorry, I'm going to really muck up your game name here. Zynx's Rush. So Sierra Rush joins the CS team and takes on the role as our VIP planner. Join us in welcoming her. And personally, Sierra, from everybody at the Voice of Terminus, welcome, 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 welcome. Couldn't be happier to have you.
Nicely said, Lex.
Yeah, I seriously, you guys should track down where they talk about Sierra. Very, very versed in the MMO scene. It's a huge privilege to have someone like this working on Pantheon. Next one was on April 17th. What is the best pug, pickup group, experience, or memory you have ever had, and why? Unfortunately for me, there's way too many to even really go through, but the top one for me would have to be a friend of mine talked me into a pickup group for a Vox raid in EverQuest 1. I was the only person that died. I was the main tank. I lost on every single loot roll, and because I kind of stopped what I was originally doing to help him, he said I could roll on everything. So I rolled on everything, even stuff I couldn't use. I lost every roll, horrifically. But I met my wife.
Nice. Well, for me, it's too hard to say. I've been in so many pickup groups. I've had so many experiences and memories, and I couldn't even start to pick one that would be the best. There were so many experiences, drunk pickup groups, crazy, wild, nutty pickup groups. I couldn't say which one it would be. I'd have to give that some more thought.
Okay, next one was on April 12th. It's National Pet Day. How do you feel about in-game vanity pets? Good? Or good fun? Pointless? Or somewhere in between? Personally, if they're comical, I enjoy them because they're kind of like a roaming Easter egg. If they don't really serve a purpose, and they're not funny, like it's just a little cat that follows you around, I'm not a big fan. I never have been.
Yep, and to actually finish this one off, as Lex.
I was going to let you go and then go for the poll.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll just finish it off now. So 27% fun and immersive, 14% do they get me more loot, 22% said so annoying, and 37% said whatever. For me, I'm on the same fence as Lex. You know, if it's just fluff, then nah. Not really.
I tend to be a very cut and dry MMOer. You know, unless I get a laugh out of it, I don't really care unless it's useful. So the next one was on April 10th. What is the most amount of time you have spent playing a game in one session from its official launch? Did you take off work for it? Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. And I spent 72 hours playing. And I will never do that again. Pretty sure if I did it now, I would die.
Yep, same for me. You know, I think everybody's taken off work. How they've done it?
Or school.
You know, the longest one I think I did on release day was 36 hours. I think is the longest I've had. But I've done days where I've done similar numbers to you, 60, 72 hours, and then almost dropped dead. My wife actually fell asleep on the keyboard, and all we heard in TeamSpeak was beep the whole entire time for about, I think it was about a good hour before I actually realised that she fell asleep. Yep,
it's funny. I mean, doing a lot of this stuff, a lot of us older gamers, we look back and go, "Yeah, I could do that again." We try and we fail miserably.
Yep.
It's one of those things about getting older, but it makes for good stories.
It's true. Old age does catch you one day.
Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy your youth while you can. Otherwise, give it to me. The next one was on April 7th. Spring vacation season is here. Have you ever, or do you plan on using vacation time to coincide with a game launch? Oh, yes, I have. In fact, I've actually made up holidays so that I could take the time off.
Right, before I answer this question, I will quickly hide my face so that nobody from future employers or anything like that can look me up. So, I will definitely plan to take vacation time, and being in a European country that offers great time off work when you're ill as well, and they pay for you as well. So, it'll be basically vacation time. It'll be sick leave, vacation time, and then sick leave again. I'll put it at that.
Oh, too funny. Oh, and then we got one April 6th from Brad himself. If you could choose to visit one of these locations right now, which one would you pick and why?
And we'll bring that one up later when the
they're in the screenshots and stuff. Needless to say, it'd be rough to choose either way.
Yeah.
No matter what. And also a very special tweet that's been out there. There's currently a giveaway for a $100 pledge for Pantheon from Martini. The Twitter handle is @TEH_Martini.
Yep, and I'll give you guys a link directly to the giveaway as well.
Yeah.
So if you enter, give her a follow as well.
Yeah, give them a follow. join in. Even if you're on the fence with Pantheon, I still recommend you do this. It'll give you a chance to try it out. And you can't lose. You get 2 copies. Go to pantheonmmo.com and click on the join link at the top, and you'll get to see what's included in that pledge.
Yep. So that's the news covered for the VR Pantheon part. So let's go and jump into the newsletter. And we want to, I'm going to bring it up on screen as well, so you guys can actually see it with us. We want to talk about the crafting and harvesting overview that VR finally released in April's newsletter. So go and kick it off, Lex.
Crafting and harvesting. Pantheon's crafting and harvesting in this internal pre-alpha is currently a very simple system. With it, we can combine 2 or more items in a container to return a new item. Combinations use a skill associated with the materials, such as blacksmithing for metals, alchemy for potions, tailoring for cloth, and so forth. It is functional, but we feel it lacks impact and depth. So, where do we go from here? A major goal of the crafting system is to provide players with a means to gear up through the power of choice. Dropped and quested items come with set stats, but crafted items can be customized. The offset to this power of choice is that crafting will require effort to gather the necessary materials for particular results, whereas dropped items are a potentially simpler matter of killing the requisite NPC to get your gear. For example, if Giron, probably slaughtered that name too, wants a silvered longsword, he plans to be fighting wererats in the city underneath in a few days with his guildmates, so he has 2 choices. Number 1, find humanoid NPCs that also have a beef with the lycanthropes, beat them up, and take their stuff. 2, find a crafter that has a silvered longsword recipe, gather the needed materials. Hypothetically speaking, this could be A, acquire an unmodified longsword, B, acquire silver ingots, and C, acquire a tempering agent.
Now, before you carry on, that's a very cool approach to how they want to explore the ways of going about crafting. They're giving us multiple choices before we even go and get this item crafted, which is absolutely an amazing approach. It gives multiple options. It gives people all kinds of ways to go about it. They can go and acquire an item, they can acquire crafting components, they can acquire rare material components, or they can go and do some camping and fight off certain NPCs until they have the item that they're looking for, which is absolutely a brilliant approach, and I think everybody will actually be in favour and happy about this approach so far.
Absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to look at this and basically say, well, that's kind of how it should be. But the thing is, that's not how it is in most games. In most games, you can't get the same item through both means. It's one or the other, right? You either craft it or you find it, kind of thing. So here, they're basically hinting at that if you need a specific item for something, you can find it in the world, or you can craft it, And it's just such a small thing that you kind of do a little differently than everyone else that makes a huge impact.
Yep.
All right, continuing on. In this scenario, perhaps Giron doesn't have easy access to NPCs that drop silvered weapons. He has been killing the wrong city's guards, so it is safer and faster for him to find a player to help him out. Crafting gives players like Giron alternate avenues to acquire these items, those items they need, while serving a dual purpose, socializing between players through economy, and giving players avenues to some solo content, the crafter or harvester, which is basically what we were just talking about.
Yep.
Crafting will also allow us the opportunity to further improve almost any items to be better suited to specific situations. For example, Giron has acquired his silvered longsword, as a dropped item, and it's awesome for cutting up were-rats. As a crafted item, and it's awesome for cutting up were-rats. So what they're hinting at is that no matter how you obtain it, it's still awesome for what you want it for. The trouble is that his silvered longsword isn't so great against other vermin or the slimes inhabiting the particular area of the waterworks near the were-rat lair. Giron really wants to have an edge fighting at least one of the 2 additional types of enemies in the waterworks that he knows of. So he could find another drop weapon that is good against slimes, vermin, or both, requiring time, luck, and effort to find the right combination of materials or stats. This has the added cost of requiring more of his bag space for gear, which we're all well aware of. The next option is find a crafter with a Bane enchantment against vermin or slimes to upgrade his silvered longsword. The next option is find a crafter with a recipe to reforge the longsword with a new material that is better suited for fighting against slimes or vermin. The last option is just try his luck and tough it out with a silvered longsword and hope for the best.
And the thing that got me here was the fact that they said find a crafter with a recipe to reforge. That's something that we talked about on previous shows about the reforging, that's something that only crafters should be able to do. And it looks like they're taking this approach now, which is going to make a lot of people happy.
I know it's going to make me happy. I mean, I know we've said it a couple times in past shows, but crafters really need to get more love. And here we're seeing clear evidence that in Pantheon, they're not only getting love, they're getting a very prominent position in the world. Which is, and this is coming from a non-crafter here, guys, this is something long overdue. Excuse me. All right, continuing on. Depending on Giron's playstyle, it may be more beneficial to farm the desired item or to farm materials to have the desired item crafted. Additionally, crafting needs to complement the other areas of gameplay. One big way that crafting will figure into this is most of the items that come from quests, such as NPC loot, or crafting, can be further upgraded. Doing this requires customizing the item to the recipient, unlocking additional stats at the cost of causing the item to be bound to that player. Which honestly makes complete sense to me. Yeah. As far as what professions are concerned, we're considering the following as our professions: alchemist, blacksmith, woodworker, outfitter, provisioner, stonemason, and scribe. Each profession will have a specialization. Players will be limited to one profession and one associated specialization.
So at the moment, as you've heard it now, there's 7 professions out there, and then depending on what associated specializations there will be the number, one of those, and that's perfectly fine. So stonemason sounds fairly interesting because they have the if you look at the you got the blacksmith and the woodworker, that will most probably be able to do your armor, your weapons, etc. The woodworker obviously for your wooden weapons and wooden shields and stuff like that. But the stonemason is definitely a interesting choice of profession.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's been done before.
Yeah, it almost sounds like it could be for a type of housing, maybe. Yep. And there is a very good question in chat here. How do you balance crafters' need for greed? It's not easy. We realize this. It is certainly not easy. But with crafters playing such a prominent role in the world, chances are adventurers are going to be more likely to want to help crafters. I mean, you're always going to find the greedy adventurers. There's no way around it. You're always going to find greedy crafters. It's just the way it is. But for the majority of us, if something's only a small upgrade for me, chances are if a crafter can get some use out of it, there's a good chance I might pass. Or if I'm using an uncustomized item, meaning it is unbound to me, I might say, I take this upgrade even though it's small, and you can have what I was currently using. Granted, I know a lot of people will opt to sell old gear or pass it down to guildies, which is completely acceptable. I just have this feeling that we're going to see the community come together a little more than in most MMOs today, because crafters are so important.
Yep. So let's go and take a look at the overview of harvesting. The goal of the harvesting system is to provide the components through which players will craft a variety of items. These harvesting materials will be provided in a variety of ways. One method of harvesting is the aforementioned traditional find a node and interact with it to receive harvested loot. This is done by finding an ore, vein and mining it, finding a tree and cutting it down, and so forth. Rather than having materials for more advanced crafting recipes be gathered by level content in a zone, as has been done in some other MMORPGs, we will have the nodes and the items they provide exist in sensible locations within their ecology. Another way harvesting will come into play is through salvaging, a method for players to break down existing items and receive components in return. Salvaging items can result in a mix of raw materials and or crafting components. In our crafting example above with Garion and his silver longsword, they actually changed his name there. I just realised.
There is a mistake.
Say he's outgrown the need for the item. He could choose to salvage it, possibly resulting in silver chunks or a silvered blade or a hilt. While the idea certainly isn't a new one, we will also have some crafting components sold only in specific cities. Many of these local materials will tie directly in with cultural-based recipes. For example, special glass making materials might be found with the Dark Mirror, so if players want to craft the Mirror type of glass items, they have to have the faction to buy the items there, or find another player that has the faction that's willing to sell them the materials from there. Similar to local based materials for purchase, harvesting nodes will exist by local ecologies even if those areas lean towards the exotic or fantastical, such as coloured mana rich areas. Rather than providing harvesting opportunities by perceived difficulty of a zone or the content around it, we'll be placing them where they naturally make the most sense. You'll also find harvesting opportunities within civilized areas such as gardens, parks and the like, as well in the wilds. Now it sounds like they're actually going into depth and thinking about, where would you be, be able to go and gather certain metal materials, and it will, mostly be in caved areas or on top of near mountains, etc. So actually going that way rather than just placing them out in the world. You run around in circles, you go gather your loot.
Right.
So that definitely sounds interesting. Oops.
Well, yeah, I mean, in terms of being a harvester, because I have been a crafter in previous games, the biggest thing for me is I need a little bit of immersion to keep myself at least engaged while I'm doing it. And nothing really bugged me more than sitting like an iron vein in the middle of a forest where it's almost completely flat. It's like, why is it here?
And if you remember I'm trying to think, I think it was the second stream where they went into Black Dagger Keep. When we did our post stream, they had that area in Black Dagger Keep that had minerals on the wall. And we asked the devs if basically those are just cosmetics, or will they be harvestable nodes, and they said straight up that those are planned to be harvestable nodes. So you can see there that inside this cave there'll also be, you'll have to go and fight your way through danger, but you'll be able to gather these nodes as well inside the caves, mountains, etc. So it's going to be a mix. And like they already said, it's going to be an advantage for you as an adventurer to also be a crafter or gatherer at the same time. So that might have to deal with it.
There's no reason, if you're primarily a crafter in Pantheon, there's no reason to look at it as, oh, well, I'm never going to get this material. Because you're going to find players like myself. I might craft, but I might craft only to a certain point because, I don't know, I got what I call gamer ADD. I can't do anything over and over again for very long. So I take extended breaks, which to me means if I get some rare ore from Black Dagger Keep that perhaps another player couldn't get, I'm going to sell it or I'm going to put it in my guild bank, or I'm going to give it to a friend because I'm not at the point craft-wise where I can use it. And I hate having stuff sitting in my bank that's useless. So I understand why a lot of crafters would be worried. Just stay positive is all I can say. There is a solution.
So let's go and finish this off. Our line of thinking in terms of access to harvesting is that all players will be able to utilise all of the available skills as they wish, provided they have an appropriate harvesting tool. All material types will already be coming from salvaging and looting materials directly from NPCs, so limiting players' access to individual skills felt arbitrary. Pantheon's current harvesting skills are as follows: fishing, gathering, logging, mining and skinning. So we have five harvesting skills, and as we see there, fishing is a harvesting skill and will not be, by the looks of it, a secondary specialization when it comes to the crafting part.
So far, subject to change.
Yeah. So
could be subject to change. I gotta say though, I know my wife. She plays a lot of MMOs with me as well. She really enjoys fishing. I can't stand it. I almost guarantee you I'm going to be mining, and I'm not going to really care about anything else unless I absolutely need it. I'm curious about what gathering is. I mean, is that just general gathering? Is it gathering flowers and plants? Which I have to guess.
I'm guessing it's for shy. They put gathering extra for shy and for people like Glenn to go and gather shinies. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's basically going to be for garden stuff. Right. When you like certain herbs, or maybe even food, apples from the trees, as we know from the screenshots that they had apple trees there growing and stuff like that. So I'm guessing it's got to do with that. Gathering will be something that gathering and fishing will be something that, and skinning, of course, will be something that provisioners will be doing. And in closing,
I just noticed something. We have 5 gathering skills and 7 crafting skills. So there's going to be a lot of overlap for the gathering.
Certainly. In closing, there are more details to come as we implement, test and refine the systems, but the above information should cover a number of the highlights. Keep an eye open for upcoming info regarding the motions required to craft, work orders, recipes and experimentation. So they're starting to put a bit of love towards the crafting. A lot of people I know have been wanting to hear a lot more about crafting, and obviously it takes time. They had higher priorities, and now they're starting to line it all up and put it together. And just remember that this is the basic form as we know. They mentioned this already. This is the basics, the very basics of what they've implemented so far, and it is subject to change and will most probably be revamped, modified, adjusted as needed.
Yeah, and I gotta say, with just the slightest gleam into the crafting system that we have now, I'm strongly considering crafting. And that goes quite a ways. That it's saying something. If I'm considering to craft,
so be careful. Lex is out there to craft. So
yeah. Don't touch my iron.
Let's go and move on to the interesting part of the show today. So they mentioned also in the newsletter that they will have 2 upcoming streams. Before we let you choose, close your browsers though, one last bit of news to whet your appetite. Our next stream will take place on Thursday, April 27th at 11 AM PDT, with part 2 streaming Tuesday, May 2nd at 11 AM PDT. And as a guest, they have Co-Carnage, who did the 3rd stream and was received with a lot of joy by the community. So there is a very good choice to bring him back on. He'll be hosting those 2 streams.
Yep. For those of you that don't know, Co-Carnage is a streamer on Twitch. He has a absolutely huge following. He's a wonderful guy, very entertaining. So while I can be bitter that I'm not in his seat, I'm very happy that he's helping the game out.
Yep. So let's go in for everybody. Let's go and get the hype going. And we're going to go and play off the first streaming ad.
In Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, there will be many ways to interact with your environment and to obtain quests. One form of quest in the game are perception storylines. For this type of quest, there will be no characters with little exclamation points over their head, and no oddly convenient trails of light leading you down a set path to your objective. Instead, perception storylines encourage players to explore their surroundings and take part in the stories they tell. Should you choose to take part in the perception system and become a keeper, your character may notice certain things that others do not, such as a lady crying on the side of the road. As a player, you then have a choice. You can comfort her, or you can ignore her and go along your way. Should you choose to console her, she will tell you a story about her brother disappearing into the night. She also briefly mentions a cursed cave he may have gone to. Where's this cave? Why is it cursed? That's up to you to find out during your adventures. There are no waypoints to follow, no magical map to lead the way. This is one mystery you'll have to solve for yourself. Thanks to your perception skill, your character was able to obtain a new storyline for you and your group. Should you keep an eye out while exploring, you may even come across that cursed cave. What awaits inside is considerable danger, significant rewards, and most importantly, the answers to your questions. Perception storylines are truly meant to appeal to those players who love lore and story. Your level of perception is based on several factors, such as your character's race, class, their standing with certain factions, and their skill both in insight and investigation. A wizard may be able to see something that a warrior cannot. Through prayer, a cleric may be able to gain insight into an area or enemy that a rogue may never know. Perception is all about telling a story that the player has a choice to take part in or not. However, perception does not only reveal information about the world around you, but also about you yourself. The choices you make through the perception system will help determine your character's alignment. Actions have consequences, and your character is not immune. And that is the main point of perception: choice. The choice to take part or not. The choices made within and how they affect everything around you.
So that was part of the coverage that they put in the newsletter as well, the perception system video, to learn a bit more about it. And even in there you could see some major changes, even compared to December's stream as well. They've done a lot of work. Even the characters have been bumped up a bit more. The Archai, you know, if I look at that Archai in this video and I look at him in the December video, it's a big difference.
Oh yeah, I mean, even just a little bit of the UI that you see, there's obviously been a little bit of polishing here and there. I know there's a lot of real subtle changes, especially when the UI is involved, and you really got to look hard to see some of them. But you got to remember, even those little changes could take quite a few hours for the artist to do. So it's a ton of work. The only thing that I'm going to say that's bad, and it's not really bad, it's more double-edged, I'll say. When I see the spell effects, I'm seeing a lot of particles, a lot of stuff from like EverQuest 1, almost like copy-paste kind of effects. Now, this is bad because, you know, this is 2017. Let's get a little better than, you know, 1999, 2005-ish kind of stuff. But on a good twist, though, I don't really know what I was expecting. So if that's how they stayed, I would certainly accept it. I just would have expected a little more. And granted, they're all probably placeholders. I know this. Okay, they're probably all placeholders, and I kind of wanted to see something a little different.
So let's go have a look at the second ad, which was the revealing of what they will be showing us in the upcoming streams, and we'll let the video talk for itself. So that's what they'll be showing in the stream, and I still just can't. I have to say the acclimation system with the ice effect around the corner of your screen. If that is something that we will see in game when we have avid heat or scalding cold or rain or wind or whatever, if those are the kind of effects that they're going to bring into certain moments, it will be awesome. I mean, that's something I've been wanting to see for ages, is have effects like that come onto. I don't want it all the time, but you know, when I go into, like, when I start entering into a cold area or heat area, I wouldn't mind to see my screen freeze up for a bit and then, you know, devolve over time. And if that is something that is actually part of the game, you know, kudos and well done, well played VR. Something that we've all been wanting to see. And we'll play it again. We'll play it again.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the frost on the edge of the screen, if you actually see that growing, like more frost, the more it affects you, that's huge immersion for me, at least. I mean, I'll get so sucked into it where I'm just like, oh my god, I'm freezing to death, save me!
Well, you see it in multiple, especially in first-person shooters, you see that a lot.
Yes, a lot.
You see that a lot happen in first-person shooters where, from your first-person perspective, the screen starts freezing. You know, you're getting cold,
or you get water dropping,
or you got water dropping because it's raining, or you see basically it turning redder and redder because you're getting more damage. You're almost close to death. And why not have this in an MMO? You know, it's.
Yep. I think the most they've ever done in an MMO, to my knowledge, that I can remember offhand without doing any actual researching, is, I think, like, most you see is the red pulsing effect on the edges when you're about to die. Which, granted, it does help, because when I see that, I usually start freaking out. But you know, I'd like it to extend to the world, and that kind of gives you that feeling that you're linked with your surroundings. You know, and it goes. I know it's just something very, very simple, but it goes a long way to really sucking you in.
Yeah. So before we go and play these streams again, we'll go and bring up the screenshots, and then we'll bring up those streams again for everybody. So we'll bring up these screenshots for you to go and view as well. We didn't pick them all out. We picked up the latest, but here you go. And this is a screenshot from Wild's End. That's some campsite outside of Thronefast, where you die, by the looks of it. It's where you go for death. And this is a beautiful overview shot. I also like this one with the gnome on top in South Seoul, overlooking. And I love that zone. That new zone is definitely interesting. And this is from the gnomes' home ship, sky ship, I think. Definitely. I'm saying it's their ship.
Mothership.
Yeah. And this is one of the scenes that Brad was pointing out. Would you go and adventure in? Would it be this one with the cave? Or would you go and venture out here? Thronefast, obviously. And then the next picture's one of a shrine of some sorts. Wherever that is, could be near Black Dagger Keep or something like that. Remember they have the wood logs and everything. And this is what we're talking about with the apple trees earlier on. They showed off some of these apple trees. And they had another scene where you basically had like a garden next to your house with an apple tree in it. So those are the screenshots that we picked out for you guys to look at.
Yeah, and I know I'm starting to sound like a broken record now, but my God, the environments are beautiful.
And the thing is as well, they have not been touched by the artists yet. You know, the decorators. There's been no lighting effects added. There's been no gimmicks added into the world, etc. That's all still to come. Obviously, yes, there's a bit of lighting been put in there as well, but it hasn't been touched by the final artists that go and bring it in and bring it to life.
Yeah, you basically don't have the tiny little decorations or, like, you know, NPC rabbits jumping around kind of thing, just critters and stuff, you know. There's still a lot of stuff that has to be done, but it's all these little effects, like the very soft mist in the background that just really makes everything come together very nicely. And there was also something said towards immersion in chat here where when you're close to death, there's like the sound gets really muffled. All that stuff, visual and audio, all come together to just work some amazing immersion effects, and I really hope that Pantheon does leverage audio as well. But one step at a time.
Yeah, definitely. One step at a time. So, I'm still not going to play the video yet. You have to wait. Let's go and talk about the other news. And what's coming up this Thursday? As we know, VR will be streaming from 11 AM Pacific time, which is about 8 o'clock in the evening my time. And as you guys know, we stream our show on Thursdays at 10 PM my time, so that's about 2 hours. They already mentioned as well that the streams are going to be, they're going to try and keep them down under 3 hours roughly, because they're doing it in a 2-part. So we're actually going to be streaming right after they finish their stream.
Yep.
Give us about 10-15 minutes to set it all up, and we'll be basically be doing a post-stream analysis coverage of what we've seen.
Now, keep in mind, we won't have a chance to go through it frame by frame, so we're going to miss a lot.
Yep.
But we're still going to cover what we did notice, you know, and then we can all kind of revel in the glory that is Pantheon together.
Exactly. So we can talk about this together. You guys are welcome to join us in TeamSpeak as we go through this, and give us your insights. Maybe if you take notes and you know we overlook stuff that you can bring up. So if you want to join us on Thursday 4 PM ish, jump on in TeamSpeak. Contact Zathris for the TeamSpeak information. I think he should have it, and he'll pass it on to you. Or join us in Discord and contact either myself, Lexa, or Zathris for the TeamSpeak information. Even Frogzor can give you the info as well.
Yeah, don't be shy. Just remember to tag us.
Yep, just tag us.
Discord, so we know.
So that's what's coming up on this Thursday. So the show on behaviours will be pushed back to June. So we won't be doing the show on NPC behaviours. We'll be doing the post-stream coverage. And now we're going to go and talk a bit about the community itself. And Pantheon is now starting to pick up, and there's quite a few sites out there of interest for you guys to check out. That have it's been long due that we introduce them as well to you. So we're going to go and do that right now. And the first time we're going to talk about...
I'm going to interrupt you real quick here. We've always been pushing for community with Pantheon. Okay, a lot of you guys have been with us since the early days. We've always been pushing for community, you know. And we're actually kind of embarrassed that we didn't start pushing these sites earlier. So I'm going to apologize to the community that, you know, we kind of just let this slip a little bit. We're going to make it up to you.
Yep.
We're going to start keeping everybody in the loop, because no one should miss out on some of these fantastic sites.
So the first one we have is the Pantheon Times. They do a podcast. They've got 4 episodes so far out there. And these guys will be joining us for a interview that we will be doing in the future. So we'll have the Pantheon Times guys be joining us. Bone and Belthound will be joining us to do an interview. We hope to get others from all the other community sites out there. They have a audio-only podcast, and this is the link to the site, and I'll bring that into chat for you guys to add to your favourites. So that's the Pantheon Times. Then we have Pantheon 101, and this is basically a HUD that will cover almost everything that's related to Pantheon: item database, NPC database, spell database, quests, zones, factions, etc., etc., etc. We will be working with them close in hand as well on our website. And if you have a guild out there, you can even register your guild on their site with information on what you are doing. Let's just go and click on the voice of Terminus, for instance. Oh, and whoops, looks like there went something wrong there. So if you happen to be watching Pantheon 101, your website's broken. We'll let
Just
you know
a little
about
snafu. Don't worry about it. Don't get on it.
But check these guys out. They've been around for a very long time, and they're doing a lot of work. And then Cromulent has the Pantheon Rise of the Fallen crafting website. So all the crafters out there. Oh, did I put a link into? I didn't put a link in from Pantheon 101. Let me go and do that real quick.
That's just Pantheon101.com.
Yep. I'll just go and grab it real quickly.
Real
for you
simple to
guys.
remember.
So that's that one. And then we have Pantheon Crafters, a site dedicated truly and one and only to crafting. And I'm sure that this will be updated, or has been. Let me have a look, see if he's updated it. He's already updated it, as you can see. He's got the Alchemist, Blacksmith, Woodworker, Outfitter, Provisioner, Stonemason, and Scribe already in there. So please check it out if you're interested in crafting, and register on the site. And then we have the Terminus terminal. They cover a lot of news. They talk about, they have some interviews on there. As you can see, they have an interview that they did with Montressor, one of the world builders for Pantheon. They have an interview with Justin Gerhardt, the lore master, on there, Jason Madaki Bolton, etc. They cover a lot of the news and have a lot of links in there, etc., etc. A lot of lore information.
A lot of the cutting edge information.
Yep. So let me go and copy that for you guys. And I don't know why those links aren't popping up properly, but it doesn't matter. Then we
are on the game side, so
we have the Fail Age, also a newscast of sorts. They have a lot of resources there on the right side of their screen. They cover a lot of the news that's going out there, important stuff. So give those guys a check as well. I'll go and link that as well for you guys to look at. And then we have a site dedicated to healers, Pantheon healers. Fairly new, this site. So, for you
where's
my
PantheonTanks.com? Come on, someone get on it.
So there's a site for healers out there as well. Obviously, it's still in development. As we know, there isn't a lot of information out there, but as it comes, they'll obviously fill it up, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they plan to do with this site, because I don't think I've ever seen sites dedicated to a certain class role. And then for all you people out there that are role players, there's the Pantheon role player site, dedicated mostly to role players, but everybody else out there, PvPers, normal PvE, can also register yourselves on this site. They have an interesting, I think it was these guys, let me have a look if I can find it. I can't find it right now, but they have, I think it was this site that did the lore overview. Let me have a quick look. If we go to the lore, they did a book of sorts. I think it's this one actually. It's loading up right now, and this is pretty nicely done. They've done a book, and if you look at this, I was going to go and try and flip through the pages. There you go. And they've actually taken the time and written something up together. So it's definitely a very nice thought as well. So go check these guys out. If you are a fan site and whatnot, you can also go and register with them. Have your guild even registered on there. As you can see, they have Pantheon 101 up here, official Pantheon website, and official Pantheon crafters, etc., etc., that they display on there. And then we have, last but not least, the German community that have put a lot of work in and translated all the lore, all the class information, etc. They even translated the newsletters. So, you know, these are some of the sites. And if you guys ever want to learn a bit of German or anything like that, you're interested in it, I'll link it to you as well. There you go. So, if we miss anybody, we're sorry. Please get in touch with us and let us know, and we will basically put you out there as well. We will be getting in contact with some of these people to try and get them on to the show and talk a bit about what they're doing.
And I gotta say, with the German site, all those translations, that's a lot of work. Like, I'm getting tired just thinking about it. So hats off to you, you know, individual, team, whoever helped do it. Hats off. That's a lot of work.
Yep. And last but not least, we've made some changes to our website. When it comes to the signing up and registering to our website, I'll bring it up to you now. As you can see, this is the sign up page where you will enter your email address, your password, your game name, who referred you or how you got to us, etc. But we've added now social networking IDs as well for us to help get in contact with you. You have the Twitter handle in there, your Discord name if you're registered at Discord, your Twitch name if you're on Twitch, and your Pantheon forum name. So if you're registered to our site or not, you know, please add this information as well so we can get in contact with you. Much easier.
I'll just butt in here for a second. Now, this is just an attempt to not have to send you guys verification emails to make sure it's the right address, because we get a lot of signups, and we like to know who's signing up. We like to talk with you. We like to get to know you, you know. And if you don't answer, there's nothing we can do. So, like I said, just this is an attempt so we don't have to make sure that we have to verify everything, and it's just only to help us. Only administrators are going to see this. I might add an option down the road where you can allow other people to see it. But again, that'll be down the road, and if it'll always be an option. It'll never be something that other people will see by default, just the administrators.
Yep. So, I think we have time to show the videos again, if you guys want to see them. I need at least 10 yeses in chat for us to play these videos again. And from 10 individuals. So you want us to play these videos again, type yes. There's one. I'll let Lex slide. Oh, I give up. I give up. So anymore, then there's going to be plenty of yeses in there. All right, so we'll play the first one again. So here you go, guys.
In Pantheon Rise of the Fallen, there will be many ways to interact with your environment and to obtain quests. One form of quest in the game are perception storylines. For this type of quest, there will be no characters with little exclamation points over their head, and no oddly convenient trails of light leading you down a set path to your objective. Instead, perception storylines encourage players to explore their surroundings and take part in the stories they tell. Should you choose to take part in the perception system and become a keeper, your character may notice certain things that others do not, such as a lady crying on the side of the road. As a player, you then have a choice. You can comfort her, or you can ignore her and go along your way. Should you choose to console her, she will tell you a story about her brother disappearing into the night. She also briefly mentions a cursed cave he may have gone to. Where's this cave? Why is it cursed? That's up to you to find out during your adventures. There are no waypoints to follow, no magical map to lead the way. This is one mystery you'll have to solve for yourself. Thanks to your perception skill, your character was able to obtain a new storyline for you and your group. Should you keep an eye out while exploring, you may even come across that cursed cave. What awaits inside is considerable danger, significant rewards, and most importantly, the answers to your questions. Perception storylines are truly meant to appeal to those players who love lore and story. Your level of perception is based on several factors, such as your character's race, class, their standing with certain factions, and their skill both in insight and investigation. A wizard may be able to see something that a warrior cannot. Through prayer, a cleric may be able to gain insight into an area or enemy that a rogue may never know. Perception is all about telling a story that the player has a choice to take part in or not. However, perception does not only reveal information about the world around you, but also about you yourself. The choices you make through the perception system will help determine your character's alignment. Actions have consequences, and your character is not immune. And that is the main point of perception: choice. The choice to take part or not. The choices made within and how they affect everything around you.
And the second one. I do hope that they bring out a second trailer for the May 2nd stream as well. I hope they got something planned. Please bring out a second one. If you guys have it or plan to, do it, please. I think we want to see more. Cigarette and towel. No comment.
Yeah, for those of you that are new or just relatively new to us, there's been a running joke about a cigarette and a towel. So just to clue you in on why I keep saying it.
Do we think they're hiding a surprise? No, I don't.
I can hope, but I won't expect.
I don't think so.
If they do, I'll probably fall out of my chair.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot more we're going to see. I can.
Oh yeah.
You can almost feel there's going to be a lot more. That's most of the key moments that they wanted to reveal. That they're going to show us. But I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot more we're going to see. Stuff that we wouldn't have thought of, etc. But I don't think there's going to be any surprises. We put out a tweet asking what people are looking forward to the most. A lot of people are expecting alpha dates, etc. Cigarette in a towel. Are you expecting a firing squad?
Not quite. Let's just say it's because I'll be very satisfied.
Yep,
at least that's the running joke.
So that was Tavern Talk, episode 24. We've wrapped it. We've come to the end. We will see you all on Thursday. Like we said, we had planned NPC behaviours, but with the announcement of the streams, obviously we scrapped that topic and decided to go with our special coverage, which we've done so far all the time. We want to keep that up. We will be covering the first stream and the second stream, depending on how long it goes for on Tuesday. We will be on Tuesday the 2nd of May. I'm going to see if Alexa and Josh will be available, or anybody else who wants to come in, and we might do a post stream on Tuesday as well, because so far we've always been straight there as soon as they've streamed their shows, so we're going to try and cover them both in almost real time and get them together. You'll be able to view both streams on Thursday. We're going to be copying or recording both, the VR stream and the perspective of Co-Carnage, so you can go through that with us as we view it on the screen. There'll be moments where I'll bring up, one stream and then the other, but most of the time you'll see both on the screen. So join us on Thursday at 4 p.m.-ish Eastern Time for the show, depending on when they stop. We'll go on straight after that. I think we'll need a good 15 minutes or so to prepare, but we'll inform you and let you know via Twitter when we're going to go live, etc. And then you can join in and chat with us and talk about all the good bits and everything that you've seen, etc, etc, etc.
And don't forget, watch that Twitch chat while the stream's going on, because VOT is going to represent.
Yep. So we will see you all on Thursday for the special coverage.
Yep, be safe, people. I can't wait to see us at the stream.
Yep. So take care. Take care. Have you guys pledged? Yes, we have.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely right, Cathasis. This is
That's
gonna
right.
rock.
This is gonna rock.
Yep. Take care, guys. See you on Thursday.